Whoa! We're here live again. It's been so long, gentlemen,
When's
but
the last time we've
Too
had a
long.
podcast together?
Batman v Superman. Last time we were doing this was the last time that a DC movie
DC
has
brings
come
us
out.
together.
I suppose it does, but here we are, here to do our spoiler cast for the Suicide Squad.
Ooh.
Huh? Isn't that weird? Like we get our first DC movie, Superman, Man of Steel, and then Batman v Superman, and then what do you think? Wonder Woman, maybe some Aquaman, maybe a solo Batman movie? No, Suicide Squad, something a lot of people haven't heard about. I certainly did not expect it to come out this soon in DC's lineup, but here it is. I mean, I was really looking forward to this movie, not so much as Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, but it excited me. I thought it looked intriguing, especially with the really cool trailer. So let's go ahead and talk about our experience watching it and see what we thought about Suicide Squad. Joseph, when did you see the movie?
6 p.m. on Thursday night.
All right. What a lovely thing that we get to see him earlier and earlier and earlier on Thursday.
Like in a couple of years, they'll probably be showing them on Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
I know. What in the world?
Monday night will be the new opening night.
Well, like I don't see many. I've had a baby since probably the last time that I podcast, and I don't see many like opening night, Thursday night showings of movies. But my brother-in-law really wanted to see this movie bad, so we kind of worked out a joint babysitting thing, and we double dated. Yep, double dated.
Daddy date.
Third date since my daughter was born with my wife. So it was fun though.
Good.
Nice.
I'm glad you got away to see a movie, but we're gonna talk about if it was worth the time.
The date?
So worth the date. Me and Luke, we just saw it together. We saw it Thursday at actually 9:30. So we saw a 3D showing. We saw this movie in 3D, not exactly because I wanted to see it in 3D, thinking that it would look good, but I'm trying out something new. The 3D showing, something I'm calling the shut up tax, meaning
You really planned that beforehand?
no joke, I planned that.
I didn't even
Shut
think
up,
of
Tex.
And yeah, it has nothing to do with the 3D. I have kind of been kind of easing back from 3D showings in theaters because
Too many people are talking in movies, Joe.
Yeah, too many people
Oh,
are
yeah.
talking in movies. More people are seeing the 2D showings, and like we got there
A lot more.
a lot. We got there at 9:30,
Crazy.
and then we see a line of people around. We're like, oh no, are we too late for this movie? No, that's the 9 o'clock 2D showing. We get there, and we're like, sir, we're here for the 9:30 3D showing. And he was like, oh. Okay, you just wait right here, and there's like no one there, and like maybe like one or two more people came to like wait behind us, but the theater for the 3D showing was maybe 30 to 25% full. It was glorious.
Yes.
Wow.
There's so fewer people in our
Nice 6
showing.
p.m. I went and saw it. I mean, I don't like 3D, but the time sometimes is convenient to have a 3D showing. So I've been really kind of seeing more movies in this XD, Extreme Digital. It's like a mini IMAX because it has like the same kind of loud sound, and it's got a really big screen, but it's not like as big as an IMAX. And we have a new theater on our north side of town that's close to my house. So I went to that showing. So it was loud, very loud, but it was packed. The stadium it was full. I mean, there's probably like 85 to 90% full.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like every other theater and like showing was like full. I feel like the lack of people at our screening was mainly due to the lack of enthusiasm of 3D, not so much for this movie. This movie's gonna make money for sure. I mean, people love.
It's gonna
the
make money
Joker and
opening
Harley
weekend,
Quinn, so.
but we can get into that later.
Probably the biggest thing that bothered me about the 3D was just it was much more dim.
Much more dim. Like I've
It
seen a
wasn't
lot
even
of
really
3D
good
showings.
3D.
Not nearly as bright.
No. The trailer for Doctor Strange, I actually do want, like, seeing that in 3D, I was like, that would be a neat 3D movie, because there's all the insane trippiness going on in that movie. But this...
There were no 3D trailers. All the trailers were standard.
Really, yeah, most of them were standing up. Like, right when it was, like, put on your 3D glass, I took them off, and I was like, this is 2D. But the 3D Doctor Strange trailer looked fantastic. But the movie, yeah, too dim. save your money if you're going to see this later. But if you want to try out the shut up tax, please, because I would say it was a lot better of an experience.
What I think would really make 3D good is virtual reality 3D. Like you need to like have just a better view of it instead of like looking at a screen far away through a lens right in front of your glass. Like it makes it dim and it eliminates the cool effect. Like Doctor Strange, I think you're completely right, but wouldn't it be so cool if Doctor Strange was in like 190 degrees, in front of you and like you actually got to see the 3D right there? I mean, I know it's not very practical, but
it would scare me.
I'm a tech nerd, so it just sounds awesome to see that in 3D, but like have it virtual reality too.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
Let's go ahead and get into this movie, and as we've done time and time again in the past, we're going back to the old tried and true. We're talking general thoughts, what we generally thought of the movie. If you don't like spoilers, but you want to hear our thoughts, you can stick around for this, and then we're going to go into...
We'll try to not ruin it for you in the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, we'll try not to ruin it for you, but yeah, this is what's our general thoughts of the movie. Luke, general thoughts, go.
It surprised me. I honestly, as it came closer and closer, and I saw some of the trailers for some of the new DC movies coming out, honestly, the more and more I'm just cooling off to the DC universe. I'm just not as excited, and so I think because I had had some disappointments with some of the trailers, it kind of led to disappointment for this movie coming out. So my expectations weren't very high, but I was surprised. It surprised me in that it did a lot of things right. It did several things wrong, in my opinion, but it did a lot more right than I thought it was going to. So I was pleasantly pleased with most of the movie.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and piggyback off what you're saying. I enjoyed the movie. When I walked out, it's going to be a lot of comparison to Batman v Superman, warning. But like with Batman v Superman, I remember walking out, and it was like there was a cloud over my head. Like I was obviously much more excited about BVS than this movie, but when I was walking out, I just felt conflicted. I felt like kind of down about the movie, like straight out of the gate. But this one, I remember like having very concrete feelings, being like, that was good, in exactly that tone. It was good. Like, it was a solid B movie, like a movie that you watch. It's clearly not like fine art, but it has entertainment value. Someone who's really, really, really looking forward to this movie might come out disappointed. But if you manage your expectations, set it to where it's just kind of a fun B movie with a good handful of problems, but good handfuls of like fun stuff too, I think you'll come out pleased. But yeah, that's just really generally my feelings towards the movie. Joseph.
I probably agree with, honestly, both of you. I don't think I had higher expectations going into the weekend around it because I've really enjoyed the marketing that it's done. Like, I feel like they've marketed it very well. At least it's hit a nerve with me. I'm like, whenever I've seen a trailer, I get really excited. I'm like, wow, that's going to be awesome. It's like everything I love in a movie. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy meets... DC, I guess, and Guardians of the Galaxy being one of my favorite movies. But going into like right before the weekend, I started hearing a lot of like pushback, and I was a little like wary. But to be honest with you, I'm right there with you. It's a B movie. If you go in with your managed expectations, I don't think you're gonna have too big of a problem with the movie. But it's not. We'll probably have a discussion later on this podcast about DC. I just don't know what in the world they're doing, to be honest with you. It's kind of confusing to me how you've got like Marvel versus DC, and Marvel's creating like a universe, and DC's almost creating like, I don't know, it's like trash. I don't even know how else to explain it. Like, it's
harsh words. Harsh words.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't not agree with that. Like, Marvel has such a clear vision, and like they've done such an amazing, impossible, miraculous job of somehow creating all these crazy characters with all these crazy feels within their different movies, and them being so different but yet so cohesive. Where we have this, which, to be honest, it doesn't, like, after seeing Batman v Superman, I mean, like, yeah, there's even some similar characters in this, but it feels like
totally different.
Way different. Like, way different. And I mean, it's good to feel different, but I forget throughout the movie that it's connected. But because
Well,
it's
like
explicit
it's like
that
they
it is, but
well, yeah, they force the connection though. It's like the parts. I mean, I understand them. I'm okay with them, but it's like, oh, we're gonna like talk about the other movie, or we're gonna show like a scene from the other movie, or we're gonna put Batman in, but he's just like a, it's just like a.
It just feels like a lesser version of what they were trying to do with the Avengers before the Avengers came out. Just a lesser version. One thing I wanted to say that we've kind of talked about this before, but I am like an Instagram nerd. Like I'm always on Instagram, and I am so frustrated because I follow a lot of those nerd DC Cinematic Universe, Instagram accounts. My gosh, the number of behind-the-scenes things that I saw before this movie came out was driving me insane. It was like, who is posting this crap? Like this. Like, obviously, this is some guy, somewhere running this account, but he's got to be able to get it from somewhere. And I don't think it was some kind of leak. I think these were somewhere out there on the internet to get. And I don't search this stuff out because I hate seeing that stuff beforehand. But I don't want to see, like, Margot Robbie and, Jared Leto, like, hanging out on set, in some behind-the-scenes thing that somebody somehow found on the internet. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, whoever the company, Warner Brothers, I guess... Whoever you are, like, put a freaking lock down on those kind of scenes. Like, there's no reason you should see that before the Blu-ray comes out with the special features. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
You didn't see that with Star Wars?
Not
and there
at all.
was so many behind-the-scenes stuff in the Blu-ray.
Yeah, no, a lot of movies I feel like, are due.
Star Wars even released a behind-the-scenes trailer, but it didn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
No. But to be fair about this movie, like, I honestly, going into it, I was very much like, I'm not really sure how this movie is gonna go. Like, for the most part, I mean, like,
who's the villain gonna be?
I had an idea of who the villain might be, maybe through speculation, but I didn't know what they were gonna be doing. I don't know how they were gonna fight, who they were gonna be fighting. So, for the most part,
nice thing.
they did a good job covering the plot, but there's some problems with that.
It's not like Batman v Superman where you see you see the whole thing in the trailer. It's like, well, there it is.
Yeah,
that's it.
For real.
That's awful. But let's go ahead and get into it. And all those who are looking to not be spoiled for this movie,
Get the crap out of here.
Yeah, this is it.
Turn your ears off.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, going into that, I mean, there's some things to spoil, but not a whole lot, because I do feel like this movie's plot and the progression is decently straightforward. Maybe
Slash doesn't exist.
It's really just the villain.
Yeah, exactly. It's
there's no plot.
Tiny
Jordan. I don't know
plan.
why you're trying to talk like there's some.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it's a little too straightforward to the fact that where it may not exist. Yeah, this is definitely the case. All that's really there is a stage that's set to see these characters, and that's really as much as the plot goes. To be honest, so let's talk.
So now we're spoiling.
So now we're
Are we
spoiling.
are we gonna go bad first, then good, so we can end on a positive note, or are we just gonna?
I always thought you kind of twisted it. I've always thought of it. Oh, we start positive, but maybe ending positive is better, so you can kind of
depressed.
So no. You know what, Joseph? Let's try that way. Let's start with the negative. Now that we've actually that's our feelings that have been wrapped in a nutshell. Now let's unpack that nutshell and kind of bring out the bad stuff from it first. All right, so bad stuff. What are some of your least favorite things about this movie? Go.
Are you just asking either of us?
I don't know. I probably shouldn't have done that, but anyways, I'll go ahead and.
You already mentioned the main. You mentioned the main bad thing. The story is just—it's like not there.
No.
Like it's just like a bunch of scenes, even though they are entertaining, but there's no like cohesive, like movement. There's not even really a climax. I mean, like
there's no real twist.
No, it's just all like continual.
Nothing surprises you.
Nope. It's very much.
The trailer kind of shows what happens. Like not the main bad guy, but the trailer kind of shows the progression of the. And I think we can qualify this by saying it's not that it's that bad. It's just simple. Like it just keeps the movie from taking that step up and being great. Like Civil War. Civil War had a part in it that kind of made that movie. It was like, oh, they're doing this. That's awesome. At least for me, that I had that moment in Civil War.
Generally, movies have a twist. At least one. Not
Yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
Or
it's like
Frozen,
literally,
you know?
it's like a flat line, and it just goes, and like maybe there's, I don't know. That's just my thought on the plot slash.
That's very much how it does feel, Joseph. A flat line that just kind of goes, and then at the end of the movie, it stops. And yeah, it's a huge problem. Like it's like it's really, if you're gonna sit down and just be like nullified by a movie and just be like, okay, yeah, I want to see these characters anyways. It's like it's a pretty big sin, but I guess I don't know. It's not wasn't movie ruining for me, but like because it's watchable, but it's not great.
No. I mean, I would jump in and say that it does suffer a little bit, I think, from, I wasn't part of the Batman v Superman conversation, but it's really overstuffed too. So, you have so many characters. And then, like, during the movie, it's like we're going to introduce a character, and you don't even really know who that character is, and then, they're going to die just because we want to, like, kill them. And then, we're going to kill this person just because we want to kill that person. And you don't, like, connect. Like, what Marvel does is they have, like, I know they can't always do this, but even Guardians of the Galaxy was an ensemble of characters. You got to like the characters. I mean, like, I cared to like about all the characters. Now, there were only 5 of them. And in a Suicide Squad, how many guys are there? There's, who you care for. You've got, like, 8 guys, all, like, kind of like, okay, we're going to introduce them by throwing up really quickly, which it's really hard to read, but they threw up, like, 15 lines of like what they've done, and I guess you're not supposed to read it. I don't know, or go see it like 3 times, take a picture of it, freeze frame it. I mean,
yeah, and I heard there's actually some really interesting stuff in there, like that. In like Harley Quinn's, it says something like, "Oh, implicit in Robin's murder," like stuff like that. That's interesting, but I completely missed that. I did not see that when I watched the movie.
Yeah.
But here's a problem I think I can definitely list among the bad. There's a lot of tonal shifts in this movie where I feel like in the beginning it's all like freaking energy, woohoo, good time, we're going for a crazy ride. We're just super stylized, super over stylized, which I like. I actually like that over style. It's like, it's really cool, I thought. But it fades as the movie goes on, and then it just kind of gets blander and blander kind of as it goes. So when you're at the 3rd act, it's like you forget it ever existed, really. And so I feel like that's a huge problem. I know the movie has to calm down a little bit and get like a little bit more serious so you can actually, care a little bit, but I mean, I really don't towards the end, but I don't know. It just feels like I'm watching 2 different movies, sort of, with that first half and the second. And that's a big problem. I feel like there were 2 creative people playing tug of war with this movie, with whether it was the studio or the director at one end. I don't know where it was coming from, but it feels inconsistent.
I'd say my biggest issue with the entire movie comes down to like the last quarter of it. It's like, it probably is more like the last third of it. But when they get in the helicopter and they go, like, what you assume is the mission to save everybody because the world's going to be obliterated by this machine. Instead, they go and save her, the lady, whatever,
Amanda Waller or whatever.
Amanda Waller, close. I don't know
Waller.
Wilder,
what ends up being a mission to save her, which you didn't understand till you got there, and then it was like, okay, what was the point in that? And then she gets on a plane and immediately gets knocked down by the machine that's been knocking everything out of the air and killing all kinds of people, which seems like the most obvious thing that was going to happen. It was like, okay, I don't get this. Like I can see how if they did something in the beginning to lead up to that, but it was like, it felt like when they actually went on the mission to stop the Enchantress, that it was the exact same as before when they were saving her. It didn't even feel like a lead up. And it was just that whole sequence of events was confusing to me. Like, I was fine with the antagonist, but I just didn't get why they did that, and then they're fighting these street guys that ended up being like no challenge at all. I thought they were gonna like absorb the bullets or something and like somehow morph back to life after they got hit, but it was just like, okay, these are like one punch suckers. Like,
yeah, you could like punch their head into like.
Didn't make sense to me.
Headshots. That's all it took.
Yeah.
If they had rearranged that, maybe up the stakes a little bit, I think I would have enjoyed the movie as a whole a lot better.
Mhm.
That was really the big part to me that took the most points away on my scoring of this movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these are huge problems we're bringing up. I'm starting to realize.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. Well, it's like everyone's bad. Even the government, they're horrible. They just
Oh,
let
yeah.
Amanda Waller. She's so terrible. She's
she
just
like
like
kills those people who
it's
are
like-
like helping her.
And even
Wait,
the
what?
the army dude's like, I don't judge. I've had to cover up some mistakes.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's
I
like-
thought you were supposed to be the one who was like the straight
I
arrow.
thought you're the
but no,
moral,
you're
the
terrible,
moral
too.
guy. It's like I guess the director wanted us to actually start considering the Suicide Squad as the good moral people. Like almost like he wanted to kind of flip the tables of like they're actually the good guys completely and totally, not the bad
Yeah.
guys doing good things because they're being blackmailed. But she's
Yeah.
like she's horrible, like terrible.
Yeah, I like her, but what she does is like weird, and I don't know what they're trying to say about
Yeah.
the actions. Like that's the thing. Like if
Also-
you had Rick Flag acting like he was the moral compass, who was like, oh yeah, I mean, in the movie's universe, it would make Amanda Waller's actions worse by comparison, and I think it would make her character more interesting. But yeah, that whole scene, no, I'm not gonna judge. That was weird. It was like, and it was like glossed over, and it was like done so quickly. If you blinked, you would have missed what she did.
It seemed
was
completely
like,
unnecessary too.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and Will Smith
Another
was like,
question-
"That's gangster," and I'm like, "Was this like a cheering moment for the audience to be like, ha, yeah?" No, that's terrible.
my initial thought when that whole exchange happens in the subway tunnel, it's almost like she and I might be wrong. I might be like assuming something, but did Amanda Waller actually want the Enchantress to do that? Did she want her to go and join the other guy and like start all this stuff because she wanted to like throw her squad out there? I mean, like I don't understand that whole exchange, like because she's always talking about how this witch is like the most powerful being and powerful metahuman and has been around for all these years. It's almost like she wants to be able to control that power and then like use it. And I mean,
I would say I don't think you're right is because she started stabbing her heart, and I don't think she would have done that if she wanted it to happen. Because as far as she knew, that was going to kill her. Which
What you're doing, you're contributing
to
like,
the confusion.
You're thinking like that there's method behind the extremely convenient timing that the plot played out. She's trying to get the Suicide Squad approved, and no sooner than she does that is when when the Enchantress goes rogue.
Finds her
and
brother.
They apparently need the Suicide Squad.
Just
No
happens
sooner
to find
than
her
that.
brother too at that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so it's just
What did she
extremely
look for
convenient.
years ago?
Oh,
Well, but like I guess I'm reading into it, and you're right. It's probably no one in DC is smart enough to honestly like write this way. But it's like Amanda Waller wanted her to find that thing in that room and wanted her to release whatever was in there. Like I'm like reading into all these things, but I'm like, man, it's just so confusing. Why didn't they at least go that way with some of this stuff instead of like, we just want to crash like 3 helicopters and everyone survives? It's like they can't die in a helicopter crash. How many helicopter crashes have survivors? Literally
Harley
none.
Quinn.
That helicopter
God,
crash was
right.
awful. Yeah,
The
right.
helicopter
Right out.
rolls like 10 times.
It was almost comical how
They
silly
got great
that was.
seatbelts.
Amazing seatbelts. They were just like, they're the whole thing. Yeah.
And then yeah.
I'll bring this up as another bad because I know that we're going to talk about this. At least I know me and Luke are at some point. The Joker.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up because I knew you wanted to say a lot.
I have stuff to say. It's like probably out of all of us, I felt like I was like, yeah, let's give the guy a chance. Yeah, I don't like the tattoos. I don't really like the picture or like what he's wearing, but like the teeth or whatever. I don't really like that, but I feel like Jared Leto is a good actor. I feel like we're gonna get some interesting stuff out of this.
Definitely is.
Watching the movie, I didn't hate him, but I was so underwhelmed by the Joker. And let's just say he's barely in it. But even that being the case, I feel like he was poorly handled, even though he was in it for such a short time. You want to see more of this character, right? This is the Joker. You want to feel like you're teasing him, but I feel like he was almost an afterthought. Like the scene where he like the first scene where he shows up. Like, you're supposed to think, like, oh, this is going to be the reveal where you get to see the Joker, this new Joker, for the first time. And it's just like, oh, bam, there he is. We're in this weird where Harley Quinn's talking to him, he's a straitjacket. It looked cool, like it was cool, like seeing them like at the table, but it was just very much, oh, here's a scene, and it's very underwhelming, and that's just how it is. He's acting, and he's doesn't seem like he's doing a bad job, but it's just like, this is our new Joker. I mean, like he's heads and shoulders below Heath Ledger and even Nicholson. Like they both like brought something really crazy and awesome to that role, but he was just like, he seemed like he was just written. Like, I will say written because I feel the writing is the biggest problem. He wasn't giving anything interesting to say. He wasn't giving anything interesting to do. It just
he played no part of a story. Well, again, we've already said there's no story. So like it's just a bunch of like moving parts.
Yeah, and I thought like I kind of had the idea, like it does seem like it from the trailer that Joker's not a part of the team, he's just a wild card that's thrown in there to disrupt things, and he was, but that sounds a lot more interesting than it actually was. It's just like he appears, doesn't do anything super interesting, he just makes some situation harder for him or whatever in order to accomplish his goals, and it's just. It's so underwhelming, and it's disappointing, but not in like a devastating way, because I feel like he could be good, but just he really didn't do anything interesting in this movie, which is crazy because he's the Joker,
Yeah.
See,
he had an interesting tattoo on his hand. That was kind of weird. His left hand.
I think overall I did like the Joker.
Okay.
Like I told Jordan, what I really don't like is the ghetto things that they put about him. He's wearing this like gold suit jacket and he's driving a Lamborghini. And, like, it just seemed gaudy. It seemed like Italian mob-ish. It was just, it just didn't seem like the Joker to me. But like the actual acting and the character, I thought it was really cool. I thought what I didn't like about it was some of the stuff that you're saying, and I attribute that to not a great script, but I actually liked the portrayal of the Joker itself. Like I liked the way he talked, and I liked how it was an original take. It's not anything close to Heath Ledger. Absolutely not. It's not. But I do like the original take of it.
You can't really compare it, I guess, to Heath Ledger, and but that's who we would compare it to, or Jack.
I think part of it is the movie was so much better. Like The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a really, really good movie.
Jordan hates it, but we like it.
It's scripted and it's paced so well. And what Jordan was saying, like a big reveal, like that movie does it so well.
Yeah.
Like with him being revealed in that first scene, and then the next.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Next scene with the pencil.
It was like reveal after reveal with that movie. Like every time they knew, every time that he was on screen, that's a big deal. It should be a big deal. This is Batman's arch nemesis, one of the most famous supervillains, who was arch nemesis to one of the famous heroes in the world. It's like a huge deal, and like he's one of those characters that he shouldn't like be able just to be hanging out in a strip club on a table. Hey man, how you doing? With Common.
Talking to Common.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can we say that Common?
And see, I blame that on the script. I don't blame that on the portrayal of the character. I think what someone like the Joker or like Batman needs to be played like they need someone to command that role. They need someone to act like they're on stage in Broadway. I mean, you know how it is when you're playing a part in a play. Like you have to command the stage as the lead character. You need to, speak much louder and really exemplify your actions. And I think that's what Heath Ledger did, and that's what I thought was so amazing about the Joker. Like he commanded the scene. Like I am the Joker. I am a force to be reckoned with. I'm insane. You don't understand what I'm doing, but I am a force to be reckoned with. Watch me in the scene. Like he commands your attention, and I think Jared Leto could very well do that with that character. I just don't think he was set up to do that in this movie, and that really frustrated me.
I agree. I'm not being the actor at all. I think totally the directing and totally the script. I feel like done right, he could be that presence who, when the Joker comes in, he changes the atmosphere of the room, and I feel like that's something that he could do. But we'll see. We'll see if it's done. Just what's done here.
2 cents, real quick. I kind of agree more with Luke on this. I didn't mind Jared Leto. I didn't like the ghetto part, kind of like what Luke was talking about. I thought that I've always seen the Joker kind of like what you were talking about, Jordan, as Batman's like nemesis. They always go back, and I know that Bane has been considered like the physical, like the physical guy that can hit punch to punch with like Batman. But I've also thought that Joker needed to be kind of a little bit more like this Joker's kind of like wimpy and small. I mean, I guess maybe he's not. He kind of looks like he beefed up a little bit for this role, but Jared Leto to me does not have this like, oh, I'm kind of like scared of like his physical presence, because I've always thought that him and Batman, they kind of go punch to punch, and he does all these things to like get under Batman's skin. I will say this, and this might be blasphemy in the comic world, but I don't know what it was, but like Jared Leto did remind me somewhat of the cartoon animated series Joker, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just like the put-in references and the bats and like all the stuff that he and Harley Quinn did together in a couple scenes when Batman was in the movie for 10 seconds. But like, I don't know. I thought that, I was like, okay, I can enjoy this because I grew up watching the cartoon. It's one of my favorite animated series. Is like the animated series of Batman is like awesome.
I think you're giving a compliment to Harley Quinn there, because Harley Quinn is an invention of the cartoon. She was originally in there, and she took off from there. And we'll get to her, but she's.
We'll probably leave her in the good though. I'm gonna go and leave her in the good section because I don't really have any really gripes against Harley Quinn in the bad section, guys.
Okay. All right. So anything.
I have one other like kind of question. So. The Enchantress is building something. We don't know what it does or what it is.
Magic machine.
It takes her a really long time to do it. Like, evidently she's doing it for days, right? Is that what we're kind of led to believe? Because, I mean, it takes them a little bit of time to get there. Like, anyways, we don't even know what time's taking place. But I don't really understand how, and this could be a comic thing, and I don't know much about the Enchantress, but so these bubbly-headed, like, humans that become hers, like why did they choose that? Is that just like a question for the ages, or is that just like something from the comics?
No one knows.
I do not know. I don't know the character of the Enchantress very well, but I will say, Joe, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing in this movie. I know she said something about like she's going to combine her magic with technology.
Yeah.
What did she do? Did she do that? I remember her seeing a beam of light.
It doesn't show that, does it?
It doesn't. I don't think it does it? I mean, I thought like
there's a bunch of trash floating in the sky, as they say.
I was really confused because I saw a big beam of light hit a satellite, and for a while I was like,
just fries it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I see more blue light come down, and
she's like transporting her power to others. I don't know. Who knows? Like honestly, who knows? No idea.
No one knows, Joseph. Nobody.
That is true. I didn't even think of that. I was just thinking that she was just destroying all these key tech things. I didn't even think about her like sucking that back up. It should have showed that though, like it just looks like she just like zzz, see ya.
Yeah, it's really confusing, and it's really just glossed over, and it's really just like just playing lip service to like lip service to like mouth service. Like, they just said something to make it sound more interesting than it was, and it was just nothing. It was just a bunch of beams shooting out, and that's it. That's really what it is. You could say a bunch of stuff about magic and science. None of that really comes to pass. It's just...
It was basically the Man of Steel timeline, but not explained. Like,
yeah,
we're going to create a machine to kill the world, but it actually makes sense in Man of Steel.
Exactly. Instead of seeing a blue light go down, we're seeing one go up.
I have magic, okay? It's working.
It's magic, it's happening, whatever. Okay, other bad stuff. Yeah, I mean, just the stuff, really, what we've talked about, I feel like, is enough bad stuff to make the movie kind of subpar and just be, like, okay and a fun time, because those are some pretty big issues. Story, pacing.
One little thing.
Yeah, please.
Batman should have been either an integral part of the movie or just not put him in. Like, he seemed like such an afterthought.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Ben Affleck was only like in the post-credit scene. I feel like the other Batman could have been anyone. Like
they showed his face when he was up against Deadshot.
Giving mouth to mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was there. He was there. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
I enjoyed seeing him. It was good to see him for me. But yeah, he was very much. If you're going to this movie excited to see Batman, you should really pull back a lot.
Stay at home.
He's very much just there, so you'll know that Batman's in the movie, and not Batman's in the universe, I should say. But yeah, he's not a character in this movie.
Yeah, I don't mind it showing him arresting people though. That's kind of like.
No, I like that.
I don't know.
I liked it.
I think that's cool. I even liked the Flash, like, kind of caught someone. Was it Boomerang?
Yeah, Captain Boomerang.
I mean, I don't mind that either, But again, like, it's just it goes back to the original point of like overstuffing a movie. So they're just not They're just not needed. It's like extra stuff that just takes up time. And thank the Lord this wasn't like a 3-hour movie. I'm glad they didn't like go crazy. It was just like under 2 hours or something. But
yeah, it didn't feel overly long to me. I will say that for sure.
Nolan wasn't directing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder wasn't directing it. It wasn't slow motion.
Let's go ahead and talk about the good stuff now. I think if you think about any bad stuff later, just bring it up after the good stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about good before we get too bogged down. For me, something that I do enjoy when comic book movies do this, it happens time and time again, but I do like that DC's finally kind of put out a movie in the DCU that really does feel the most like a comic book movie that they've done. Like the fact that so much comic book zany stuff exists in this world. Like I was really having fun with that when they went farther than I thought. Like with how comic book and how out there it was, I was like, oh, cool. I mean, yeah, some of it was just really like thrown in there. Like for instance, Katana. This is Katana. Watch out for her. Her sword steals your soul. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I like how out there it is, but like it was kind of thrown in there. I'm sorry, I kind of just backhanded that compliment. No.
Yeah, come on, we're doing positives here, Jordan, not positive negatives.
I for the most part, I do enjoy the fact that DC is cutting loose a little bit. Even sometimes, some of it doesn't make sense, sure, but I do enjoy the fact that they're trying to cut loose and they're like kind of abandoning that. No, this is real. This is real. This is all real. This is the real world we're in, not silly Marvel world. This is real. And so I'm glad they're letting go of that.
A question I kind of have is, I know they did a lot of reshoots after Batman v Superman got just absolutely obliterated by critics. I'm wondering what the original tone was of this movie, because I didn't see too much of it. I thought that the original trailers that I saw, I thought that tone was pretty much present throughout most of the movie. I do agree with your original point about the tone did kind of like change a little bit, the style did, as the movie went along for some weird reason. But it was probably it's the funniest, since like the 80s. It's funnier than I think The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Those were comedy movies too,
Batman Begins is pretty funny. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of jokes, tons of jokes, and there's a lot of humor in this, and it would be insane for me to say that all of the humor in this, or even most of it, was because of reshoots, but I will say, if I was going to think, like, what was the thing that was changed, I would definitely say probably inserting more humor if I were to guess, because you're not remembering that first trailer, that Comic-Con trailer, is very serious.
Was that the one last year?
Yeah, it was last Comic-Con had that song in it, like the joke was on me or whatever. It was the first trailer that came out. It was
Never mind. I'm thinking of the second one then.
Oh yeah, where we have Queen and it became really fun. It was an awesome trailer, but yeah, the first trailer was very serious.
I'm gonna go back and watch that now. See what they actually changed.
The trailers for this movie were fantastic.
They were awesome.
Yeah, good. No, that's a good thing. Good stuff. Anyone else?
I like the characters. I like Will Smith as Deadshot. Don't have a problem. I thought he was pretty cool. Yeah. We did get our iconic scene of him with a child in a movie. Like his go-to scene.
Him with a daughter or a little son. Yeah.
It'll be okay. I really liked Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I thought she did a really good job.
I thought she did
a
great job.
When they sent that out as the casting, I was like, they couldn't have nailed it more. Like, absolutely. Like the way she talks in Wolf of Wall Street, like I remember thinking of that back when that movie came out. I'm like, that sounds like Harley Quinn. When she's like, Daddy, and saying like stuff like that.
Puddin'.
putting the foot on his head.
Yeah, I thought she
That
was
sounds
very
like Harley
good.
Quinn.
I enjoyed her for sure. Like there were I forgot to mention these in the bad section. There was a few things that they wrote for her character that I didn't like, but her performance I thought was spot on. It was great. She was obviously having a really great time doing it, and I definitely want to see more of her for sure. I thought it was great finally seeing her in a film, and yeah, I was very pleased with her performance and Will Smith. It was just good having Will Smith in this movie. I feel like he was a needed presence. And he had a lot of energy, and he seemed like he was, definitely giving this one his all and trying to, give that old Will Smith comedy kind of magic. Not really, he's not like a comedic comic relief guy, but there's a lot of that, like Jay from MIB kind of stuff going on. But yeah, I will say this.
Slipknot, great character.
Great character, great. Oh man, I felt so attached to him.
A lot of important scenes with him.
Oh man, pivotal. Couldn't have had the story without him. No, you got to have that character who's like, yeah, see, he blows. Yeah, I don't know.
See, we're not lying. There's actually a bomb in your freaking head.
But I want to say this before I forget about Harley Quinn. Something I feel a little negative towards. Anytime it came up in the movie, I was just like, what? Anytime they like really pushed into like this, we're friends, we're family. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just in the movie, anytime she uttered, like, this, like, when she was to get that last blow to Enchantress, and they're like, I forgot what she said, but something about, like, these are my friends, and I'm like, what? Did you have one discussion with Captain Boomerang? I mean, yeah, sure, you, like, talked a lot with Deadshot, and you guys had some chemistry going on, but I don't know what you're talking about with this whole friends and we're family thing. I get like the whole we're in a common situation. All I needed was like them doing a thing or two for each other.
We're in a common situation.
We're in a common situation. No, all I needed was just a few nods. Is that we have each other's back because all of us are in this crappy situation. We got to look out for each other. That's all I needed. Not this whole we're family, we're friends.
Don't mess with those people keeping me alive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
we have a common interest.
I thought it was cringeworthy, to be honest. I thought it was really cringeworthy. I really didn't like it. I'm sorry. I really should have said this from the bad stuff.
I don't know if I
Come
thought it
on.
was bad,
Try to talk positive, Jordan.
I know. I'm
You
so
opened
sorry.
Pandora's box.
Jordan hates this movie. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't hate it. I just there's a few things I do hate about it, but that I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I really don't like that. But anyways, Harley Quinn. Great job, Margot Robbie. It was really, really good, and I can't wait to see
One thing you guys were kind of saying, I think, is just in overall, this movie was fun. It was a pretty fun movie.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't Batman vs Superman, which I just didn't think was fun at all. This movie, I think, was enjoyable, despite the things that were just stupid that we've talked about. Overall, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was funny. It had funny, and I laughed.
A lot of the action, like the stunts, were cool. Some of the fight scenes were cool. Even though, again, when you have like 8 characters trying to fight and trying to like pan between all of them fighting, it does get a little bit. It's like really difficult, especially in 3D. Sometimes whenever the camera's like going really quickly back and forth, you can't really pick up a lot of it. I didn't mind Killer Croc. I feel like is that the guy from Lost, Mr. Echo?
That's Mr. Echo, yeah.
It sounded sort of like him, except he was a little bit more like, I guess he was ghetto. Kind of like, there's like this theme of people being ghetto in this movie.
Yeah, you wanted
and then
BET.
like, yeah, Diablo, right? That's the fire guy's name, right? El Diablo.
Yes.
He was in Breaking Bad.
I didn't mind him either, but those are really like those 4 are the only ones that really talk that much. I guess Boomerang kind of says stuff, but like he doesn't say anything of consequence.
Here
right?
it is. I'm gonna say it.
Drinks energy drinks.
I like Captain Boomerang in this movie. Jai Courtney. He usually plays like this white bread, like straightforward, like hero character. I liked him in this movie. It was crazy. I thought it was funny.
Jordan was laughing a lot.
I was laughing a lot.
I didn't mind him
thought it was
popping.
funny.
He kept popping some kind of, I guess, beer every time.
Yeah, like
they
the
were,
action was going down. He was like ducking him. Yeah, it was really funny.
My first thought was like he was Sweeney Todd. He had like his little blades. He popped out.
His boomerangs, his friends.
Yeah, no, I didn't-
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I just like when we were talking about talking or being a part of the movie, it's like he didn't have anything. They didn't write him in enough. You know, it was basically Deadshot and Harley Quinn. To be honest with you, they're the ones that talk pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah. Okay, so I do like there's a lot of I like this, but I don't like this. So I'm sorry that a lot of negative stuff's coming out. But here's a big one for me: Enchantress.
That you liked?
That I liked and didn't like. Enchantress. So okay, here's what I didn't like.
She looked kind of cool.
I'm getting there, but
Okay.
her character was just nothing. It was just nothing. It was Ronin. It was every silly, last minute villain that we've ever seen before. It's nothing. It just not good, really. But the visualization of her, I thought was really cool. I really liked what her magic looked like. I liked when she was all nasty and dirty. She looked creepy, man. I thought she was cool. And when the first appearance of her, I thought was awesome. When she was when the doctor was basically all right, bring her out, and she whispered Enchantress, and then the fingers slipped over and turned her around.
Yeah,
It was
that
her.
was
That was awesome.
It's like something out of
I love that.
The Ring. It was like The Ring.
Yeah, it was some horror stuff in there. It was creepy. It was cool. It was interesting. Well, they could have done a lot more visually interesting stuff to it, but I feel like they did go the extra mile, and I appreciated that with that character. Like when she disappears from Flag and she goes to freaking possess that random guy in the bathroom. She doesn't just go up behind him and go. She goes up behind him, then goes into the mirror, then grabs him in. It was that's the extra mile kind of stuff with that, and I appreciate that. And so I think the visualization of her is cool, and I kind of actually prefer her in that crazy, creepy look instead of when she kind of goes into that weird she has the fancy outfit on, and she's all
Fancy
Well, that's
word.
because it's without a heart versus with a heart. When she has her heart, she gets clean. And when she doesn't have a heart, she's dirty.
That's what I look like without my heart? Oh, no.
Yep.
A lot of times in movies when they show how someone became something, I usually think it's really stupid. I have to say, I thought the Enchantress one, I liked it. I thought it was pretty believable. It was okay, there's this doctor that goes out, exploring these ancient ruins. She, accidentally knocks the thing over, and then it happens. It's okay, that makes sense. That could happen. I can see some ancient evil entering someone. God knows what those crazy Indians did, sacrificing people and all that. I don't know. I thought it was reasonable.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. It was just really, it was just the fact that she's just not really much of a character. She's more just a bunch of cool visuals and maybe some not cool visuals.
Yeah. That's all part of what the heck did they do with this story?
Yeah.
Could have organized it so much better.
I'm trying to think. There's something else I really like.
Is that her? Is she here?
The Enchantress has possessed Jordan. Jordan.
Apple headphones in.
Jordan is the Enchantress.
All right, but all right. So what? There was a lot of flashbacks in this. I think some of them work, some of them really don't. There was probably the worst moment for Will Smith was his flashback. I thought it was actually pretty bad for the most part. It was weird. That child actor girl was terrible. She was Daddy, you kill people.
You mean at the end?
No, at the beginning.
Yeah,
when they're walking, you kill people, Daddy. And his
Christmas
response was awful. He was no, I don't. That's a lie. It was really bad.
I think the real travesty there is that Will Smith's dressed like a some type of
a pimp.
Yeah,
he's got
a hat on.
Freaking hat tilted to the side.
That's a weird outfit to go on strutting down the
Freaking
street
ghetto.
with your daughter.
This movie is ghetto.
It is.
That's
It's
what we have to
very
say.
ghetto.
It's pimps and Lamborghinis and
Lucas hit the nail on the head.
gold
There's a lot
suit
of that.
jackets.
I mean, we got some training day in here. I mean, I don't know.
Common with a nose ring.
Oh, that is weird.
And a
Nose ring for
tattoo on
Common,
his
yeah.
head.
What the heck?
So weird.
Yeah.
He looked
That's
like
your
somebody
girl.
that,
That's your girl, Mr. J.
Oh yeah, that was weird, and it sucked that he didn't
So weird.
he didn't dispatch him in any interesting way. He just shoots him.
And
You know,
they
with
didn't
the
even-
Joker.
It was just okay.
Yeah, I was expecting
Yeah.
Harley Quinn to freaking bash him with a hammer, or slit his throat or something like that, when she was all click. Yes, exactly.
That's what a neck sounds like.
How about the fact that the Joker's second in command is basically Ben Affleck's stunt double? He looks
Really?
just like
Yeah, he's just a guy. He's
Yeah.
just a guy. It's weird. You expect him to have some crazy person because you'd have to be crazy to work with a Joker
it's just
like
some
that.
random guy.
He's a guy.
He just acted like everything was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, so good stuff. Good stuff. Amanda Waller. Even though that scene didn't play out, and I feel like her nastiness could have been worse. I feel like she was
Yes,
well
if it's-
portrayed.
Yeah.
I feel like she was very good. I feel like I'm sorry, I'm messing up the actor's name.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. Thank you. I think she did a fantastic job playing her.
It's a little more acting than that character I think needed. Viola Davis is an incredible actor.
Incredible actor, but like, yeah, I think she did a great job playing her. I mean, we famously got this character already. You guys may have not noticed, but we already got this character in a mainstream DC movie. She was played famously in Green Lantern. You're probably blinking
By
and miss
Viola
her.
Davis?
No.
What'd she do in that? In Green Lantern?
Nothing. I think she is like, yeah, we're gonna dissect an alien, and like, you better keep this a secret. And she like gets her head bumped, and that's the end of her. I guess she was probably supposed to be seated in.
She had plastic surgery
at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Before
it.
they realized that movie was terrible.
That's just a testament to like how DC really does not know what they're doing.
Seems like it. Seems they're just like kind of throwing everything to the wall and seeing what sticks.
Some intelligent people to come in and get this thing organized.
I was trying to say something nice, but I was trying to be nice to.
Well, we've been nice to the movie. We're just talking about how DC doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a really mixed bag when you talk about these movies. It's really
hard.
Mixed bag.
It's really
a lot of negative. But then there's some good things because these are great characters, so it's hard to completely ruin them.
What did you guys think of the music in the movie?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was fun.
I thought some of it was great. Some of it I was like, this is too much. Some of it was like, this is awesome. I'm feeling this. But like for some reason that I did not. When it was like, this is too much, was that flashback of Harley Quinn with the Joker, and like they're at Ace Chemicals, and she jumps into the
that song
was. It was like a Rihanna song, and I was like, this should be like a really iconic moment, but I'm never going to be able to think of that scene without thinking that's this Rihanna song. It's like, does it belong here? It's just like, that's a moment where it was too much. I don't know if, like, I cared too much for that Eminem song during that. Guess who's back? Back again. It was like,
I think the weirdest thing is when the actual movie cut that's in the film is the same song as the trailer. Like when Harley Quinn is up on her bed sheets, it's exactly the same as the cut from the trailer. Like,
yeah, that is weird. I hear that a lot of people in a trailer house have cut this movie, so that's...
I really don't like that.
Yeah, really weird. And even when like Bohemian Rhapsody cut in at the end, it's like, yeah, I'm just being reminded of
this is the trailer again.
This is the trailer again. Yeah, it's really weird. So, and again, the music, mixed bag. Sometimes it's really cool.
All mixed bag.
Sometimes it's really not, I'm afraid. But other good stuff and bad stuff simultaneously. What do we have here? What did you guys think of the action that was here in this movie? We haven't really talked much about the action. I feel like it was a very run-of-the-mill. Nothing really too interesting about it.
I love how ever since the Man of Steel kicked back with like death of civilians, they've evacuated the city. The city's completely evacuated. So like that everyone in the city is a bad. That's why I had to take days. She's been building this thing for days.
Do they do that in Ghostbusters, Luke?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, I can't wait to see the Ghostbusters be like, let's get these cities evacuated, let's do this.
Oh, jeez.
But they don't show giant buildings falling down with people inside of them.
Yeah. So, I
can't imagine that in Ghostbusters. Where's my family? Up there.
Here they come.
I like dead shots. That one scene where he jumps up on the car and just goes absolutely berserk, and everybody's like watching him, and they're like, "Oh my, this guy is."
Yeah, that was
real
probably
deal.
If I had to say the one action standout part, it was probably that because it really showcased his talent well.
And when it's target shooting too.
Yeah, target shooting's pretty cool.
They did a really good job at like showcasing his ability. It was really cool. And there was actually a guy in the theaters when that part was over. He was like, "Yeah!"
Those two people in front of us are going nuts.
Yeah, they were really having a good time, man. Let me tell you.
Okay, a scene I really liked, and I don't know, I actually laughed out loud at this scene, is when Batman is chasing Joker and Harley, and he jumps on top of their car, and he like crashes the car like or he runs the car off the the boat, and like then Batman dives in, and he goes down there, and Harley tries to like cut his throat. He like escapes it. And it just pops her right in the face.
That audible underwater thump that happened. Yeah, a lot of people laughed a lot. That's a classic thing where like he's coming after the Joker, but Harley's there to try to stop him or whatever, and he just kind of bam one shots Harley. It happens in like the Arkham games a few times.
Can we be honest? How much does the Joker actually care about her? He abandons her in so many different cases in this movie. He's supposed to be her, like, you know, pudding, but like he just leaves when that car crashes. He doesn't help defend her from Batman at all.
That's kind of what he does in the cartoon, and I feel like he does that in the comics supposedly, right?
But like
it's an abusive relationship.
He takes over that helicopter. He like goes all the way over there to get her. Like he makes some effort to get her, but then like in so many cases, he has her fall in the junk, and then he like finally decides to go back and jump in. It's like you don't give a rip about her.
I'll say this: I haven't read every a lot of Joker Harley comics or anything like that, but I will say this: with everything with Joker and Harley I've seen, I've never seen him care about her more. I will say that with the effort that he goes through to get back to her. Usually, it's definitely like his hide is way, 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 way above hers. Like he's not gonna risk anything to get to her. You know, he's just gonna have her around. You know, to worship.
But I guess I felt like they were trying to play it off as if they, were in this committed relationship, but then like he like cares at some times, and then he just doesn't really seem to give a rip on other times. Like when the car crashes, he's just gone. He's just completely gone. She's sitting
she
there.
Says,
like,
Mr. J, I can't swim, and he goes in the lake, and yeah, I think like he was going to leave her when he like pushes her into the chemicals. Then he's like does that growl that he does, and I feel like that's part of his performance. That like he's moaning and growling or whatever at the same time, and he goes in after her and laughs. But yeah, I mean it's kind of inconsistent. I agree with what you're saying. It's like, but and it doesn't play like. It doesn't play very well. It doesn't. It feels like it's written inconsistent more than like, oh, he's crazy and you never know what he's gonna do. It doesn't feel like that as much as it feels like just inconsistent writing. So,
writers, get your act together, please.
All many writers who is probably writing in this, but
it says written by David Ayer, whatever the director's name is.
He wrote it by himself.
It says written and directed is what it says, but. I don't know. He probably had assistants, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
probably,
you're right.
Or people pulling the strings.
It just says comic book John Ostrander.
All right.
Ostrander.
Great.
So I guess he took material from that.
How do you guys think this about how the way the movie ended? Do you guys like that? I don't really know what to say. I don't have much to say about it. I'm just. What do you like, guys? Like that last fight scene?
I thought it was weird how like they just. It felt like they maybe recorded it afterwards where the Joker like comes and gets her. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Like why couldn't that have just been in like the next movie, or maybe he comes and saves her before they get taken back? Like why not come when there's like no one to even defend her? It was like right after they got the Enchantress.
He was literally sidelined in the movie. It's like he like goes down with the helicopter. We all know clearly that he's not dead, but the movie goes on believing he is when Amanda Waller being like, Joker and Harley Quinn are down. Yeah. I'm like, really? And she's all like, oh, my pudding's dead. Oh, can you bring my pudding back? The whole time I'm like, no.
What if Joker actually died like that? I mean, that would be the travesty of all superhero movies. He crashed. We didn't even actually see the crash. He's dead.
That's it. I mean, we go along the other comic book characters who die off screen, like Cyclops and whatnot. But
gosh.
But anywho, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The climax is just like it kind of just happens. Like I don't really get. The problem is with magic. I always like seeing magic introduced into these comic book movies, just because like the visual possibilities. But the problem is, like, the powers are so undefined.
Yep.
One minute they seem super powerful, the other they seem like they're way more manageable to take down. So when they're fighting her at the end, I'm like...
Was Diablo one of them?
No, he's possessed by a demon. Everyone's possessed by something. She's possessed by a witch. He's possessed by some sort of, like, a demon of some sort. So he, like, transforms. Kind of like Ghost Rider is what I take it as.
I guess, again, like, I don't know his power, so all I thought was he did flame, like, he played with fire, and then at the end I'm like, why does he look like that? He looks like an Indian on fire, a skeleton Indian on fire. He had like a headdress thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He looked a little silly, but
Hey, but he took care of business. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, he most certainly
Sort of.
did.
for 10 seconds he did.
And then he got obliterated.
He basically just took out that other
Which
guy.
my question is, why is it like a suicide? It's basically a suicide bomb squad because they like set the timer for 2 seconds and then it blows up everyone.
And how did he turn off the bomb when Enchantress hands it back to him?
I have no idea. Rick Flag has the ability to stop time.
If it's that easy to turn off, I'm pretty sure whatever you're trying to blow up would press that button too to turn it off. Oh,
Yeah.
you just clicked the off button.
Off. OFF.
On and off bomb button.
I don't know. That's Siri. I have no freaking idea.
Ask Siri.
So, all right. Anything left to say here? You can tell from this review how much mixed of a bag it is, but
It is a mixed bag.
how because of the simplicity of the plot, probably if the plot was more convoluted and less was going on, it would be a lot less entertaining. Like I feel like the saving grace of it is the movie does keep on moving. It like keeps going throughout the plot with more jokes and action and stuff. It doesn't really stop and like slow down. And to be honest, when it kind of does, I start to not like it a little bit more. Like that scene in the bar, I was just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, seriously. Yeah. It was nice to get Diablo's backstory and to understand what he's about. Like, you can kind of gather that, but it was good to kind of get that.
Honestly, they could have put that at the beginning when they're, like, talking about the people and how they got caught and stuff. They could have talked about that then.
Yeah, I just don't get what they're saying. Like, Harley's, like, giving him this weird speech about how we're bad and how it was your fault and stuff like that. I'm like, it's one of those things where at the end of the movie, I don't know what the movie's trying to say with anything, really. I don't know what the characters are trying to say, because she, like, turns around, she's like, these are my friends! And I'm like, what are we doing here? And so it's one of those things where probably...
Well, she is crazy, so, like, it makes sense that she would say crazy things.
Sure, but, you know, whatever. But it's just if they spent more time on stuff like that, it would have been a lot less enjoyable for sure, because it's just saying nothing. They're just saying things that really just amounts to nothing in the end. So at least just give me some quips and give me some crazy action that we can discuss what the heck was going on when he turned into a skeleton or blew up a bomb. That's way more exciting than trying to figure out what she means by we're all friends and crap like that. About
you
like,
hate that line so much.
I hate that.
Yeah, you hate.
So
you said it like
much.
6 times in this movie.
It's like
We're
everything
all
you keep
friends.
revisiting.
These are my friends. I love my friends. We're friends.
Would you rather
and
her
I.
say these are my co-workers or
Compadres.
something like that? Co-people?
No. Don't say anything. Say I don't take orders from anyone or whatever, except obviously
Don't
the
mess
Joker.
with my coworkers.
Don't mess with my coworkers.
This one's
Yeah.
for
Don't mess
Dr.
with my
J.
suicide
This is for Mr.
squad.
This is for Mr. J. It would have been so much better, even though it's stupid. It would be better than this is for my friends or whatever she says.
This is for my pals.
Oh gosh. All right. So
I will say it's having a good opening weekend. I think it's already up to like nearly $90 million bucks
August
in 2 days.
record.
isn't
Yeah,
it
beat
weird
Guardians of
that-
the Galaxy.
It's crazy.
that if I'm ever dissatisfied with these movies, I still want them to do relatively well because I don't want them to be like because I
We're
want to
gonna
see
stop
Justice
doing it.
League. I want to see them try again. I want to see them try again, not just be like, well, here we go, Zack Snyder, Jeff Johns, pack up your bags. We're folding up the DC Cinematic Extended Universe or whatever they're calling it. It's just like I don't want to see that happen, but I want them to do better. I don't know. What can I say?
Yeah.
So we'll see if that ever happens. Because we
I
keep
think
giving them
that
their
this
money.
is an improvement. This is like a couple of small steps for them ahead of Batman v Superman.
Definitely.
In a sense of, okay, so they're starting to try to add, even if some of the humor was a little dark, but still, and the movie itself had like rain. It was at night. It had a lot of like kind of dark scenes, and the characters, of course, were these bad guys. But still, it had a lighter tone than even Batman v Superman did.
Yeah, they
I
need
didn't.
to.
When I left the movie, I wasn't like, I'm so exhausted from watching this. I was like, okay, what's next? You know?
I think they really, really need to look at Justice League, and I think that is going to be the movie where we're going to say that. I'm not saying, like, it's going to be great, it's going to be solid forever. I'm saying this is the movie. If they're going to figure out the tone of this thing, about this universe, and try to figure out what's going to hold it all together, it needs to be Justice League, to where it's like, this is the feel of our movies now.
Yeah.
Thought it was Man of Steel, then we thought it was BVS, then we thought it was Suicide Squad, then we thought it was Wonder Woman, but this is it moving forward, because Wonder Woman's not going to be it moving forward, because it's set 50 years or whatever in the past, so...
But it still looks pretty good.
I think it does look pretty good. I'm looking forward to it, as I am most of these movies that we talk about, but...
that we trash later.
I don't know how much I'm looking forward to Justice League. That does not look good to me.
You don't think it looks good? All right.
I don't think it looks great. I think Wonder Woman looks pretty cool, but
yeah, I don't think Justice League looks much like anything at this point, because it was just like, here's some lines from the movie.
Here's some thrown together footage for Comic-Con.
Yeah, pretty much. So
again,
I don't
DC,
know what that
DC.
thing looks like.
Listen,
but...
there's a reason why. Was it last year or the year before? Who pulled out of Comic-Con? Didn't Marvel pull out of Comic-Con and not do anything?
I don't think they did. Yeah,
and they had their own event.
Yeah, where
So,
they're
like,
like, here's a million things we have going on.
And this past Comic-Con, they released a couple, like 2 teasers for Netflix, and then one teaser was just like the unveiling of a logo, and then another thing. Like, you don't have to rush things out to everyone. People will wait.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Be patient, DC. Let's
DC,
slap a score.
if you're listening,
they
be
are,
patient.
by the way. They are listening.
Okay.
all of them, all the actors, all the producers,
sitting around their
all the
laptops.
studio heads
David,
at WB.
David Iron. David, if you're listening to this podcast, please do better.
Okay, Joseph.
That was him.
Slap a score on it.
Slap a score on it. Go.
What do we do? The 1 to 10, or do we do like 1 to 3? What I can't remember
10.
what we do. 10.
It's 1 to 3.
That's so far off from what we've ever done. It's crazy.
I thought we did like a thumbs up, thumbs down, and like a marginal.
No,
Did we do that?
we thought about that. That was a bad idea.
Bad idea.
We did that first. That's how old I am.
100's too many points. And
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Go first.
I'm gonna go in like the C range. So I'm gonna go like a
Stop it. We're not doing
7. Hey, 7 to 7.5.
How about
C
stars?
minus.
How about just give it a number, Joe?
7.
Stars.
I'm
I
giving
give
it
it
7
12
suicide skulls.
I give it 6 farts of a bat's knuckle.
I'm gonna give it 9.5 turtle doves. No, I'm gonna give it a 7. What's really interesting, I went with 3 other people, my wife, and then my brother-in-law and his wife.
They hate it?
They all loved it.
Really?
They loved it way more than I did, especially the girls. And I'm not really sure. I think they just really liked Harley Quinn like more than anything else. So I know the critics have been really harsh on it, but this opening weekend is going to be monstrous. And
the critics have been too harsh.
Yeah.
Can we agree?
Yeah, it's not
harsh.
a 30% or less or whatever it's at now. I don't think it's that bad. But it does have
some... Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, it does have some plots or some plot holes and some plot issues and some storytelling issues that the DC Universe kind of needs to correct because they still haven't corrected it. But it does a lot of entertainment value, kind of like what we've all talked about. You know, it's fun. It's got a bunch of cool visual effects. And the characters, you know, they work somewhat well together for being, like, all different. And it's kind of fun if you go in with really low expectations.
You have a good time. It's a fine movie to see. If you're just looking to kind of just have a nice night of enjoying a movie, that's pretty good. Best review ever. Put it on the box. Put it on the poster. And
I'm surprised it's sold as much as it has. Because honestly, I was thinking, like, this one guy I know who goes to a lot of superhero movies. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, I can't recommend this to him because I think it's darker than he really likes. You know, the Marvel movies, and it's darker than those movies, and I just don't think if you enjoy the Marvel movies and you're not really into darker movies, I really don't think you're going to like it that much. It's full of black magic, and I don't think those kind of people are going to enjoy it, so I'm kind of surprised at how well it has sold.
Well, the marketing has been really good. People have just been real excited. Again, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law never go to movies on opening night, and they wanted to see it opening night. Like, that's what they wanted to do. So
surprised they liked it that much.
Yeah, me too. I'm shocked. This is not their type of movie. Like, my sister-in-law hated Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
That's
how
how
dare
much
she?
that we disagree on movies.
Crazy. I would rate this movie a 6.5.
Oh, a D.
I guess so. I think it's all right. I think it's a fun time. I'm not. I want to see it again at some point, just so I can be like, wow, look at all these characters. But I'm not excited to watch it again. I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'll see it again. So yeah, it was all right.
Excellent review.
Thank you,
Luke.
Thank you.
6.0.
Oh,
All right,
going
lowest of
down.
them all. Good. All right.
D
yeah.
minus.
I agree, Luke. It's not as bad as what a lot of people are saying. I've heard some people who are fine with it, but I've looked at a lot of reviews, and a lot of them are way overboard. Like, comparing it to Fantastic Four, legitimately.
What?
I've seen people comparing it to the Green Lantern, actually it being worse
Yeah.
than the Green Lantern.
That's just silly. People like to pile on, and it's definitely that attitude out there in critic land against DC.
Yeah, it's
pile on city.
It's watchable by like any means.
Definitely.
It's completely
It's fun.
watchable.
Like I said, it's a fun movie. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot wrong with it, but I still enjoyed it. I can think a movie is a 6 and still say it's fun. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Luke,
Absolutely.
you know what? You're right.
Every movie is not going to be an 8.5 or a 9. Like, I don't want to... Like, I always have a problem rating things too high, so I'm trying to be a little harsh here. Like, there's a lot I didn't like. That's just what it is.
It is what it is.
You're above the 50th percentile, so you're in like the sixth.
It was
sixth
no
here, so we're
Fantastic
good.
Four.
Oh.
Fantastic Four is
I
like
still
a
haven't
1.
seen it yet. I've been meaning to watch it. I need to
Joseph,
watch
this is how Joseph, this is how much I don't like this movie. Joseph, don't watch it.
God.
If you do, let me know. But don't watch it. All right.
What if I gave it like a 9 or something?
Dear
I
God.
would question
You
everything
cannot be on this
I know
podcast.
about you. All right, so let's go
But you
ahead.
won't.
And you will. Let's go ahead and close this off. It was a pleasure talking about this movie with you guys. I've missed
fun.
doing this. We're gonna have to do it sooner. I would say follow us on. I would say follow us on Twitter, but
Oh gosh.
do you want people
So
to follow
behind.
you on Twitter?
That's
Do you
where
want people
things go to die.
Do you want people to follow you on Twitter? You can follow me at Twitter at It's Jordan Time on Twitter if you want to do that. I mean, I'm not super active, but I say something every now and then.
It's
But,
hard to keep up a personal account and the MTG account.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
follow us at MTG Pod. But anyways, follow us
One
on
thing.
YouTube and stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
One of the first Instagrams I ever posted on MTG was the fact that HBO was making Westworld, and it is coming out like in the next couple weeks. So watch that because it looks really good.
Wow.
It's a remake of the old movie Westworld on
All
a
right.
series.
SpoilerCast coming
Interesting.
soon.
And
Coming
watch
soon,
Stranger
SpoilerCast.
Things. It's amazing.
Stranger Things, almost finished
Wow.
with it.
All these plugs.
Show of the year.
What about Luke Cage coming in September?
Super excited for Luke Cage. Super
I
excited for
hope it's good.
anything
Not as
Netflix.
excited.
Anything Marvel's doing on Netflix, they've earned my trust.
Luke, take that back.
Luke, your namesake.
This guy's your brother. The name alone.
What?
All right, guys. It was
All
a
right, thanks for
pleasure.
listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.